Hello and welcome to day 34 of our Lent devotions, a journey through the Gospels towards Easter. And we are back into John's Gospel today as we read the account of the interrogation of Jesus, first by the high priests and then by Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor in Judea. So let's dive into John chapter 18, verses 19 to 40. Meanwhile, the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teachings. "I have spoken openly to the world," Jesus replied. "I always taught in the synagogues or at the temple where all the Jews come together. I said nothing in secret. Why question me? Ask those who heard me. Surely they know what I said." When Jesus said this, one of the officials nearby struck him in the face. "Is this the way you answer the high priest?" he demanded. "If I said something wrong," Jesus replied, "testify as to what is wrong. But if I spoke the truth, why did you strike me?" Then Annas sent him, still bound, to Caiaphas, the high priest. As Simon Peter stood warming himself, he was asked, "You're not one of his disciples, are you?" He denied it, saying, "I am not." One of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him. "Didn't I see you with him in the olive grove?" Again, Peter denied it, and at that moment, a cock began to crow. Then the Jews led Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanliness, the Jews did not enter the palace. They wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, "What charges are you bringing against this man?" "If he were not a criminal," they replied, "we would not have handed him over to you." Pilate said, "Take him yourself and judge him by your own law." "But we have no right to execute anyone," the Jews objected. This happened so that the words Jesus had spoken, indicating the kind of death he was going to die, would be fulfilled. Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked, "or did others talk to you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied. "It was your people and your high priests who handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jews. But now my kingdom is from another place." "You are a king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You are right in saying I am a king. In fact, for this reason I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." "What is truth?" Pilate asked. With this, he went out again to the Jews and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him. But it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." Now Barabbas had taken part in a rebellion. Amen. May God bless to us this reading from his holy word. About 20 years ago, the Manic Street Preachers released an album called "This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours." And it's a title that speaks to the modern idea of truth, the idea that we all have our own truth. And there is a degree of, if you'll forgive the use of the word here, truth to that. The degree of truth to that comes from the fact that when we look at the world, when we look at reality, when we come to judge facts and how things actually are, we all come to those with our own preconceptions, our own values, our own ideas, our own opinions already baked in that have been caused by our own experiences, upbringing, a whole lot of different things. So we all see truth in a slightly different way to each other. And there are people in the world who have absolutely taken advantage of that. One of the phrases of the last 7 or 8 years has been fake news. The fact is that it's very easy for fake news to propagate throughout the world, because if somebody makes up a story that actually speaks to what somebody else views as truth, they're more likely to accept it. That's why we see stories that are so patently false actually believed by people. There is a tendency for people who spend a lot of time online, especially on social media, to see posts that say something that is speaking to their own political opinion, and for them to automatically accept it without checking whether it was true or not. I've fallen foul to it, and I know a lot of other people that have done as well. Truth in this day and age feels like a subjective thing. But the fact is, it's not. Truth is whatever is actually held within reality or facts. Truth is fixed. Truth is objective. There is no opinion in truth. We can get taken in very, very easily by people who are very clever with words, very clever with ideas, very clever with the way that stories are told. But the way in which we can judge truth objectively is through the lens of Jesus Christ. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Here we hear him say, "Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." Pilate speaks for that modern idea. What is truth? Well, Jesus is saying that he is. That through him we can see the world as it truly is. He allows us to strip back our preconceptions, our values, our opinions, and see reality and facts as they are, not as people try to present them to us as. It is very, very simple for us to fall into a trap of believing falsehoods and believing obvious falsehoods. But the fact is that the way for us to judge truth, reality, as it truly is, as it was always meant to be, is through Jesus Christ, God the Son, come to earth as man. He says it here on his final afternoon before his crucifixion. And we should listen. So let's reflect on that as we go into Palm Sunday tomorrow and Holy Week next week, leading up a week tomorrow to the celebration of his resurrection. And I will see you again on Monday.